Hello everybody, I'm Mark Mazzatenta. Thanks for joining me, and I'm here to help strengthen your guitar skills and your composing skills today. We're going to talk about chord progressions. Now I know all of you have strummed hundreds of chord progressions before. However, I want to have you think a little bit more specifically about them today. So I have 5 examples of chord progressions that all have some kind of descending bass within them. And here's what they look like. I will put this in the description. There'll be a link to all these examples, so you'll be able to see this handout. The first one is one that you've probably played before. It's that kind of classic Spanish jam progression of, here's the bass line, A, G, F, E. And specifically, you would play A minor to G major to F major to E or E7. And you'd have this. So you may have played that one before. It's pretty common. However, on that F chord, leave the second string and first string open, and you'll get this cool, more of like a flamenco voicing of that F chord. Example 2 is one of a couple here that have slash chords in them. So a slash chord is just a chord that has a note in the bass that's not the root. So this one starts on a G major chord, then it goes to D with an F sharp in the bass, that would be a slash chord, then to E minor, notice the bass is descending, then to an E minor with a D in the bass, and then a C major, and G with a B in the bass, A minor, and then just so we could loop back to the G, I put a D7, so we could start over again. So here's what it sounds like. The third example also has some slash chords in it. The bass line is going to go C, B flat, A flat, a little chromaticism there, G, F, E, D, and then we're back to where we started. So we have a C major chord, going to C major with B flat in the bass, then F major with an A in the bass, F minor with A flat in the bass, G major, G major with F in the bass, then E with C major with E in the bass, and then D minor. So you get this. The next example I call the Steely Dan example because it comes from their song Deacon Blues, which is a great example of a chromatic descending bass line. C, B, B flat, A flat, and then I put a G7 here to just get back to the chord we started on. So you have C major 7, that's B minor 7 sharp 5, B flat major 7, this little pattern here, A minor 7 sharp 5, A flat major 7, and then here I put a G7 sharp 5 just to get us back to our starting chord. So you get this. pretty really slick jazz harmonies there. And I wasn't playing my first string at all. So I had this melody, which was kind of connecting each of those chords that was on the second string. And the last example is kind of interesting, of where you get kind of a looping chord progression that'll arrive you back at your starting point. This is something I do with my students, like, and here's what I want you to think more specifically about. Let's say you want to compose a chord progression. You might say, okay, well, what's it going to sound like if I take a chord and just move it by whole step, descending? So maybe I would start on a D. Just see what you get. And the one that I use is a progression that moves by ascending minor thirds. So if I started on an F minor, then it would go to A flat minor, then it would go to B minor, then it would go to D minor, and then you're back where you started on that F minor. And I love doing that and having someone try to improvise, because they've got to think about all those different chord tones as they move. And you can do that with any chord type. Like you could do a dominant seventh chord. So you'd have F7, A flat 7, B7, D7, and then you're back to that F. So this last example is one of those kind of looping types where you have C, A, F, D. That's the descending bass. And the chords you would have are C major, A minor, F major, D minor. And then if you take that, that's a 1, 6, 4, 2. If you take those 4 chords and just drop them down by whole step, you can get this looping pattern that will get you back to your original chord. So here's part of that. That can keep going. After that chord, I just put a G7 to get us back to the C chord again. So we have C, A minor, F, D minor, B flat major, G minor, E flat major, C minor, A flat major, the G7, and you're back. Fun. All right, everybody, I hope that made you think a little bit about creating chord progressions. Maybe you heard some cool little moves in there that you want to try. So just go down in the description. I'll have a link there. You can see all 5 of those and you can play them yourself. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'll see you at the next video.